How are we? Yes, Pro Streamer is indeed here. We are live. I hope you can hear me. Um, yeah. Hello, Jason. Hello, Coops. I never know how to say your name. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go with Coops right now, unless you let me know what's up. Hello, Martin. Hello, Brett. Complaining about me being late again. Hello, Pia. Hey, what's up, Marisa, as well? And who else is here? Tone is here. Obviously, the best moderator on planet Earth. And that's about it. So, as usual, I'm really underprepared for the stream. I was doing something else, and the something else is next week on Saturday. There is not going to be a stream on VPM. Hello, Bianca. So next week, no stream on this channel. I am, however, going to be live on Chip's channel, that Chip guy. And we are going to attempt to discuss the B12 book, the Enigma of the Elusive B12, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's been occupying my mind for a while, you know that. I've heard the book, I've listened to the book in its entirety this time because I went through it sporadically. But now I've heard the entire thing. I've wrote down a few notes of on my own. Most of it can be absolutely discounted as insanity. That's true, Tone, because it's not cited. It's not cited. It's history being rewritten. It's a lot of questions, which immediately, can it be that, blah, 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 that, which immediately turns into a fact, right? Like as if it's an established fact. Which immediately turns into this relatively elaborate 211 page conspiracy theory, basically. There is even the statement of the Hegelian conspiracy, like, what is it, Tone? What is it? I do have it. I don't know what it is. What's up, Neil? What's up, Jake? I do have it written down. I just don't remember to state it enough. So let me open it one sec. Where is it? The Hegelian dialectic, but what is it? There it is. Give me a second. The Hegelian dialectic, it's the problem, reaction, solution thing, dialectic, right? So that's what conspiracy theorists usually use to say, whatever. So we're not gonna go into most of the book. We're gonna probably concentrate on one of the chapters that wasn't cited properly, but at least the sources were mentioned in the fucking book, in that chapter. And we'll see what's going on. It's gonna be me, Chip, Joe, Liduli, and another person. I'm not sure how they're gonna want me to name them, so at this point, we're gonna find out together at the site. And yeah, hey, what's up? David, the 40-year-old vegan, how you doing? Hello, Marcos. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do next week. So I've been working on actually properly citing that chapter. And it's a preview, it's hilarious. But some things should be gone through anyways. As for today we talking about conscientiousness, right? Conscientiousness is one of those things that seems to me we as vegans must address somehow. It's my understanding of conscientiousness, and in a second we're going to read, there are 3 papers that I have here, and maybe we can find some other stuff as well. My understanding of conscientiousness is the ability to decision make, basically, the ability to care about your upcoming actions, right? And there are people with very low conscientiousness, like incredibly low, and there are people with high conscientiousness. My personal hypothesis, stupid hypothesis, based on nothing hypothesis, is that people who actually become vegan and stay vegan for the rest of their lives have high conscientiousness. Sometimes too high. Sometimes it's like everybody has like drops in conscientiousness, right? It's like that's when we, like, for instance, accept a food from somebody who's like, yeah, it's vegan. You know, when later we find out that there is some kind of a non-vegan ingredient and we shouldn't have done that, right? So moments of lack of conscientiousness when you're tired, sleepy, blah, 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 that happens to everybody. But generally speaking, I think the higher conscientious people go vegan and stay vegan for a while at least. Oh, for the rest of their life. I don't know why I'm saying for a while. Any case, let's read how conscientiousness is actually defined, shall we? Let me arrange it so that you can see it, kinda, sort of. So Patrick L. Hill, and yes, most of those sources are breaking the law. I'm breaking the law to get them to you. That's okay. I have I've done it conscientiously. Alpha gives his analysis as usual. So conscientiousness is hard to say, is a personality construct that is a core determinant of health, they're posting, because this paper is about health, positive aging and human capital. A large body of work has contributed to our understanding of this important aspect of personality. It is an aspect of personality, but there are multiple conceptual and methodological issues that complicate our understanding of conscientiousness. This paper is from 2012, so I'm hoping since then we found something more. Towards this end, we review A, the conceptual standing of conscientiousness and as a personality trait, and B, past research focusing on the underlying dimensions of conscientiousness, C, the nomological network in which conscientiousness is embedded, and D, the diverse methods that have been used to assess dimensions of conscientiousness. So that's interesting, right? I think, generally speaking, like the extremes of those two, the highly conscientious and low conscientious people, you can probably don't need to assess it. You just kind of see it. You kind of understand it almost immediately from the person's actions, the way they talk and stuff like that, right? But why I'm talking about it at all is that maybe we should learn how to address the people who are like, I'm addicted to meat, I cannot, or to other animal products like cheese and stuff. Whenever I see it, I grab it, I eat it, don't even think about it. That's just lack of conscientiousness, right? And in my opinion, right? Again, really, really stupid opinion, probably. And if we find a way to address that, if we find a way to increase conscientiousness of people when it comes to animal rights, maybe we get better solutions, right? Better results with people going vegan or whatever. Sorry, again, I'm highly unprepared. We conclude with a recommendation for improving our understanding of the concept of consciousness, methods, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Let's read about the consciousness itself. And I can definitely increase this one. Even more. There you go. There you go. I'm trying to hide the illegality of the thing. The link is right there. So conscientiousness is a spectrum of constructs that describe individual differences in the propensity to be self-controlled, responsible to others, hardworking, orderly, and rule-abiding. So, like, self-reflection for a second just from this thing is, I'm conscientious in some things and I'm highly unconscientious in other things. Right? Rule-abiding, not so much. Orderly, definitely fucking not. So, unless maybe orderly means like everything has its place, and then yes. Why did it jump like that? No idea. And then yes, definitely true. But I am definitely not a clean person. The importance of conscientiousness to health appears indisputable. Conscientiousness predicts most of the major preventative and risky behaviors for both physical health and mortality. Conscientiousness also predicts physical health, the onset of Alzheimer's disease, as well as longevity. So I'm guessing is like the level of conscientiousness. That's what they mean here. So like in Alzheimer's disease, I guess the conscientiousness goes down maybe. As well as longevity, all at a I'm probably misunderstanding this sentence greatly. All at a magnitude similar to factor widely accepted as important health determinants, such as socioeconomic status and education. Oh, I understand what they're saying. So they're saying it's a predictor of health and longevity in the same way that you being poor is a predictor of health and longevity, right? So, what's up the vegan anthem? On the basis of these findings alone, it would be a critical importance to focus research attention on conscientiousness. Let me just fix that for you. But the effects of conscientiousness apart from health are even more far-reaching. Conscientiousness plays a role in most of the major domains of life and positive aging. Conscientiousness predicts higher achievement in both high school and college, independent of cognitive ability. So that's interesting. It is one of the most reliable predictors of work outcomes, including job performance, leadership, income, and occupational attainment. Yeah, we know that some people are just built differently, that they are like gonna be much more dedicated to reaching a goal. So maybe conscientiousness is one of those predictors of that. Conscientiousness also predicts marital stability. Damn. And conversely, a tendency not to experience divorce. What? Okay. Finally, conscientiousness is an independent predictor of major depression above and beyond other personality traits such as neuroticism. So there are like 5 traits. I saw it earlier. Let me try to find it again. Conscientiousness is like, there are like 5 predictors or whatever the fuck. It's this. It looks a little weird here though. So, it's fuck. I think it's not this. I saw it earlier. There were like 5. It's part of this, some kind of a 5 thing. The big 5 personality trait, I guess, right? One of them is conscientiousness. So neuroticism, openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, and agreeableness. And I'm guessing there is like a relationship between all 5 of those things in some kind of a way that I'm not able to predict unless we read into it a little later, maybe. It seems that if one is interested in either living or promoting the possibility of a long, healthy, successful, and happy life, one should be interested in conscientiousness. So the question then is asked, can you increase your conscientiousness in some kind of a way? Can you increase the conscientiousness of others in some kind of a way? I have seen some kind of a paper on it, but I haven't prepared it. So I don't know if we get to find out today. We'll see. So although much is known about conscientiousness, there is much work yet to be done, despite many years investigating and testing different trait taxonomies. The law order structure of conscientiousness has only recently become a focus of research, and the traits that make up the domain are only beginning to be identified. So that's from 2012. I'm hoping there is like more research on it these days. But definitely something to invest in, I think. Moreover, our understanding of the relation between conscientiousness and important outcomes, such as health, longevity, and success in love and work, is only as sophisticated as our understanding of the construct of conscientiousness. I'm gonna get tired of saying that word at some point. Let me bring that down. Similar issues arise when considering important questions. Let me see if we can find something more interesting to read in this paper. So conscientiousness is a personality trait, this says. Let's reduce it a little so that you can read with me. So most researchers are familiar with the term conscientiousness because of its inclusion in the Big 5 taxonomy of personality trait: extraversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, emotional stability, and openness/intellect. Ooh, that's what it means. Conscientiousness is most often thought of as a personality trait, which reflects the relatively enduring automatic patterns of thought, feelings, and behaviors that differentiate people from one another and that are elicited in trait-evoking situations. Speaking is in historical terms, constructs associated with the domain of conscientiousness have some of the longest history in psychology, beginning with Freud's idea of the superego and the subsidiary concepts of the ego, ideal, and conscience, dispositions related to conscientiousness, such as achievement, motivation, and impulse control, have been studied for over 100 years. In the interim between Freud and the Big 5, related constructs were studied under terms such as impulsivity, norm fabric, social conformity, I have a video on that, and ego control. Many decades of clinical research have focused on components of psychopathology manifest in tests such as the Minnesota Multifaceted Personality Inventory. Okay. Numerous alternative descriptors have been used for the domain of conscientiousness, such as constraint, work, and superego strength. Sorry, I'm going to mute Discord. I'm so sorry about that. So sorry. Okay. It's hot. Hold on. Heater is off. Okay. As we have noted, blah, blah, blah. The concept of a personality trait carries with it some unnecessary baggage that we would like to address forthwith. A common misconception of personality trait is that they denote the existence of highly heritable, 80 to 90% heritable, unchangeable, and decontextualized constructs. That's interesting. We have provided an alternative vision of personality trait that expands on the structure, the developmental, as well as the contextual nature of traits that attempt to address the misconceptions. Interesting. Which we summarize here. To start, although conscientiousness is heritable, that's interesting. The best estimate of the heritability of conscientiousness-related trait is between 40 and 50%. Thus, like almost all constructs studied in psychology, the majority of variance in conscientiousness is attributable to environmental influences. So it's nature and nurture together. It's all together. If you want my actual attention in the comments, please tag me, because otherwise, sorry, I'm going to be ignoring you a little bit. I apologize for that. Moreover, the general heritability of a personality trait is an estimated population average value that collapses across diverse circumstances in which the heritability can be either higher or lower than average value. This observation signals the sensitivity of genetic effects on personality and environmental context. In addition, the assumption that traits are immutable is clearly wrong. Empirical evidence has repeatedly shown that conscientiousness and the related constructs that fall within the conscientiousness spectrum, such as impulse control, are both changeable and continue to develop and change well into adulthood. I want to read this. Shall we skip directly to this shit? Let's try. Though changeability should not be taken. Changeability should not be taken as meaning inconsistency. It is clear that personality traits retain robust rank order consistency over time while showing slow incremental changes from year to year. So, and it was, give me a sec, it just says Jackson et al. 2006, fuck. Where the fuck do we find it? 2009. Oh, for the love of actual God. That's 2009 as well. Why doesn't it say the number of citation here? It's probably going to be one of the highest ones because 2010. Jackson et al. Has been prolific. That's 2009 as well. 2012. Jesus Christ. I want to read that thing, please, for the love of God. This is riveting. This is riveting television. Aren't you glad that you came here? Fuck, the citation doesn't exist. What? Wait. Did it say it? Yeah, 2006. Oh, Jackson et al. 2009, and then that's 2006. Oh, the love of actual fucking God. So let's find, so that's the one, is it? Let's fucking find it. Let's fucking find it. Let's just go to that. Riveting stuff. We love this. And let me just break the law off screen, if you don't mind. If you don't mind so much. Where do I find the DOI? DOI? Bro. No, can't find it. Shit. Okay, let's just continue reading the thing. It's fine. So, the hierarchical structure of conscientiousness. Calling interval. It's funny. It's funny. Conscientiousness, like all other personality traits, is a hierarchically structured system. In terms of the hierarchy, traits can be ordered from broad to narrow. When conceptualized at the level of broad conscientiousness domain, the trait eliciting contexts are multifaceted because they aggregate across the component parts of the broader conscientiousness spectrum. Fuck, I don't know what that means. And I'm getting tired of this. So, yeah, let's do shortcuts. Shit, I guess I'm not very conscientious. What's up, Nick? So biological factor, the environment, traits, states, thoughts, behaviors, and feelings. So all the stuff that we know. Okay, structure, kind of don't care about it, not gonna lie. I really wanted to read that fucking paper. Nomological consciousness, delay in gratification. So, okay, so let's read this stuff. Let's familiarize with what conscientiousness actually is. Oh, come on. There you go. The nomological network of conscientiousness. Readers might notice similarities between the facets of... No, we haven't read it. And anyways, delay in gratification, a prominent construct in the developmental literature, is typically thought of as a measure of one's capacity for self-control or self-regulation. A number of studies now have demonstrated that children differ in their ability to retain from immediate gratification in order to receive more desirable outcome in the future. Moreover, these individual differences predict meaningful long-term outcomes. These studies set the stage for recent work demonstrating that self-control during childhood predicts health, wealth, and substance or use over a quarter century later. Moreover, it is worth noting that delay of gratification has been seen as a precursor of component to some forms of moral behavior. I am having a hard time reading today, guys. Given that being conscientious often has moral implications, such as being virtuous and rule-abiding, delay of gratification thus not only can be seen as an early predictor of conscientiousness later in life, but it also helps explain the occasionally moralistic nature of the trait. Something that we are being accused of often, being moralistic, which has like a negative connotation because it's like preaching shit. Okay, ego control. Another member of the conscientiousness family with a rich history in developmental psychology is ego control, stemming primarily from the work of Jack Block, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not very nice to the nice people who wrote all these papers that I'm like creating content based on. Ego control refers to the one's ability to inhibit impulses and delay gratification across different domains, marking a clear connection to the conscientiousness facet and self-control. Indeed, multiple studies have noted significant correlation between ego control and conscientiousness in both children and adults. When considering the items from one self-report ego control scale, one also can see clear parallels with conscientiousness beyond just the self-control facet. For instance, individuals with less ego control respond positively to items such as, I can remember playing sick to get out of something, industriousness. And at times I am tempted to do or say something that others would think inappropriate, conventionality. But negatively those things individuals with less ego control, they respond positively to items like this, right? So industrialness, they respond positively to those, and inappropriateness, kind of conventionality, they respond positively, but they respond negatively. So that's less ego, guys. To items like I'm steady and painful rather than unpredictable and impulsive. So orderliness and self-control. And I do not let too many things get in the way of my work. I'm not sure what I mean here. I'm not sure I understood what's happening. Individuals with less ego control, they respond positively to these items, but negatively to these items. Given these clear connections, conscientiousness researchers may wish to borrow from the ego control literature in order to help present a more nuanced developmental portrayal of the trait. Fuck. For instance, ego control has been conceptualized less as a trait and more as an ability that one can turn on and off as needed. That's interesting. This proposal may prove an interesting avenue for future work on conscientiousness, given that being overly hardworking or orderly may prove maladaptive in certain contexts. Yeah, no shit. Like for me, it like burns me out when I work for even a couple of months, like really, really hard, either at work or at like some personal stuff. Just burn out. I just crash. I don't know, maybe I'm just like, when I need to like turn conscientiousness on all the time, maybe that shit is burning me out. Hey, what's up, Axel? How you doing? So, effortful control. Researchers have suggested that effortful control comprises an integral part of self-regulation, and thus clearly has relevance to the discussion of conscientiousness. Work on effortful control comes largely from temperament literature and refers to the ability to inhibit prepotent responses. And the construct has demonstrated longitudinal stability during the childhood years. Given that impulse control is a reliable indicator of conscientiousness, it is unsurprising that effortful control measures have demonstrated consistently a positive relationship with the trait as well. Indeed, effortful control has been thought of as developmental predecessor of conscientiousness. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, by effortful control, I'm not sure what they mean. Do they mean like the control of certain impulses? And by effortful, what do they mean? Like somebody is like consciously trying to do so? That's my guess. Because conscientiousness cashes out into being like mostly subconscious, I think. That's I might be saying stupid shit. So self-control also has an obvious connection. Let's not read all of those. It would be incredibly boring. Self-regulation, because some of those are obvious, so let's not read all of them. Self-regulation has to do with conscientiousness as well. Let's read this one. It's actually interesting. Work on self-regulation can be organized into two broad subfields on emotional and behavioral self-regulation. Emotion self-regulation appears to be more strongly related to the personality trait of neuroticism than consciousness. In contrast, behavioral self-regulation represents an extremely similar construct of self-control and thus conscientiousness. Interesting. Indeed, effective behavioral self-regulation entails being able to control one's thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and efforts to act in goal-directed way. Interesting. Impulsivity. Why? Don't appear now. The placement of impulsivity in its converse impulse control is in the big five, blah, 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 blah. We know what impulsivity is. Let's just move on real quickly. Let's see. Constraint is also related. Grit. Grit is perseverance and passion for long-term goals. Jesus Christ. It's like some of this is like a mirror. Weird, in it. Methods of assessing conscientiousness. Well, let's read up on this one. Let me just grab a seat. So, the method for assessing the family of conscientiousness-related contracts are limited only by the imagination of the researchers focusing on the task. The most common approach to measure conscientiousness is through the use of self-report, obviously. In addition, self-report can be complemented with observer ratings made by knowledgeable friends and family members. Alternatively, researchers can use more objective indices such as experimentally derived measures, or even venture to access constructs with implicit approaches that are thought to be less susceptible to biases. We reviewed each of these approaches below. Self-report, I think pretty much self-explanatory as well. The other one is implicit measures. That's when family and friends say it's low conscientiousness or high conscientiousness. And experimental behavioral approaches. Experimental measures of conscientiousness include measures that directly access specific behaviors of interest using standardized laboratory-based computized tasks. Recent evidence indicates these assessments can be organized into three broad domains: impulsive decision-making, inattention, and disinhibition. Interesting. Measures of decision-making generally involve the participant making choices between rewards and are delayed, immediate, or probabilistic certain. Comparatively, measures of inattention do not involve the participants making choices, but rather evaluate the participant's ability to maintain alertness and receptivity for a particular set of stimuli or stimuli changes over time. Measures of disinhibition emphasize the ability to inhibit prepotent motor responses or unwanted behaviors. These three domains are uniquely sensitive to acute drug effects. Interesting. What else do we have here? Let's skip this part. Am I boring you already, guys? Are we bored already? So this part is skipped. Yeah, the rest I think is this is for the next one. Let me just reduce this. Reconciling the relation between conscientiousness and motivation. Improving the measurement of conscientiousness. Okay. Well, I think identifying the developmental ideology. I think I want to find something that actually tells us how to fix it. That's what I'm looking for always. I don't know if I'll find it here today. Sorry for being red, by the way. It is a little hot in here, despite it being like 15 degrees in the room. But I'm wearing like thermal stuff. So, let's just increase this a little bit. Avocados, you're not annoying people, I hope. Well, that would really displease me. That would really, really displease me. With the corner of my eye, I can see your name. And I don't know if I should try to address it. I don't know. Oh, you think we should do the opposite? Is that what you're saying? Just make people as unconscientious as possible. Just like ruin people's lives, right? Because this is not just about veganism, obviously, right? Like if they are unconscientious, this is just like ruins people's lives, basically. They fail in school, they don't go to work, they fail in relationship, personal relationship, just the opposite of making people vegan with eugenics. What the fuck do you mean by that? Holy fuck, bro. I'm gonna start ignoring you again. Is conscientiousness always or even or ever a virtue? This paper is pretty old, I think, relatively. It's 1972. So I don't know how much we can derive from this. Let's read up a little bit, right? They don't even give us like abstract. On most views of the nature of moral judgment, is it possible for a person to be mistaken in the belief that it is right to act in a certain way? When someone believes that it is right to do something, does that thing on the basis of such a belief, and yet is in so doing commits deeds which are wrong by moral standards other than his own? Which describes farmers. We do not quite know whether to praise him or for his conscientiousness while condemning his actions. He acts according to his conscience and does what he believes to be right, but his beliefs are erroneous and his actions wrong. Shall we praise the man for his conscientiousness while condemning his actions? In the review, blah, 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 blah. In this review, Richard Price considers the question and answers it affirmingly. So we should praise the man for his conscientiousness while condemning his actions. Moral agents are liable to mistakes if the circumstances they are in, and consequently to form erroneous judgment concerning their own obligations. This supposes that these obligations have a real existence independent of their judgments. This reads like 1972. Just makes me give it an accent. But when they are, making muffling noise like this, that I can't replicate. But when they are in any matter mistaken, it is not to be imagined, and then nothing remains obligatory. For these, there is a sense in which it may be said that what any being in the sincerity of his heart thinks he ought to do, he indeed ought to do, and would be justly blamable if he omitted to do, though contradictory to what, in the former sense, is his duty. So this is like, this paper is deontological, holy fuck. The possibility, despite like talking about virtue, never mind. The possibility of error in moral judgment leads to Price to distinguish abstract virtue from practical virtue. Abstract virtue is a quality which actions simply have. Practical virtue is that quality which we believe that they have. Okay, well, I'm bored. So let's go to this one instead. So while much this is trait conscientiousness and agreeableness in relation to positive and negative mood, self-perceived altruism, right? So a little more related to what we want to talk about on this channel, I guess. I'm so sorry, it's gonna be tiny, holy fuck. While much research has been done on altruism and people's perceptions of the altruistic tendencies of others, perception of altruism as it relates to self, especially in relation to the influence of internal states, lacks similarly extensive investigation. This study aims to explore how the stable internal states of the personality and the fluid states of mood play a role in our own perceptions of our altruistic tendencies. Participants were provided with personality questionnaire and exposed to image sets designed to induce positive or negative mood. The positive and negative affects schedule, PANAS, was administered post-mood introduction to verify successful change in affective state. Jesus, this just made people miserable, just for no fucking reason. Oh well, for the reason of the study. Participants were provided with a questionnaire presenting altruistic behaviors. Subjects might hypothetically engage in, and were asked how often they believe they would engage in the behavior in the near future. Lastly, subjects were asked if they would be willing to participate in another study as a means to acquiring explicit altruism measure. It is hypothesized agreeableness and conscientiousness will impact self-perceived altruism, while emotional states, positive and negative, will have a negligible impact. So it doesn't matter if you're, hey, what's up, Diego? It doesn't matter if you are feeling good this day. Your altruism, your self-perceived altruism is not going to change. All right. This seems boring to me. Let's go fucking find that fucking paper. Sorry. I really want to find that paper and read it. Maybe we'll try the second one. Let me just go find it. How did the kick event go? No, just views from this. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna persevere. I didn't, in the last second I tried opening, I forgot about it. Tried opening a kick campaign for this one as well, but I forgot, and it was like, Brett is saying I'm late, so I probably shouldn't. You know. Where is it? Let me find it. This. So let me try to find this one. Fuck. It just jumps somewhere, and then where is the question? Just fucking jumps somewhere, and I don't know where. It's just like, can you give the number of the citation, man? But no. Ah, fuck. Let me just try. Conscientiousness. Let's just see if we can just like find some stuff on it. Continue to develop and change well into adulthood. Conscientiousness, change in adulthood. The growing evidence of personality change in adulthood, finding from research with personality inventories, conscientiousness and health across the line. Let's see if we can find the stuff that, well, there's the Jackson one. There it is. Well, we found it earlier, but this is the other one. This is the second one, I think. And if not, you know. Sorry, next time I'll try to be more prepared next time, because holy shit, I feel bad. But maybe we can salvage this. Sorry about that, guy. Oh, that just slide. Get access. No, we're just gonna break the law again. That's what we're gonna do. One sec. We're just gonna break the law again. Could not be bothered to sign in. Oh, fuck. Should we ask ChatGPT to summarize this for us? It's just gonna give us the abstract, isn't it? But let's do it anyways. Let's see if we can give our ChatGPT a go. So let me arrange it. One sec. New chat. In a way that allows us to view the thing. ChatGPT is always fun anyways. Much fun, more fun than reading the entire thing. So, can you explain this paper? Let's go. Hey, what's up, VG? Hey, Kathy, you're here as well. What's up? Right. Let me try to not show my other stuff. Fuck. But also make it big enough for you guys to be able to read. There you go. That's as big as I can go. The article reviews research showing that personality traits continue to change throughout adult life rather than staying fixed after young adulthood. The authors summarize evidence from longitudinal and cross-sectional studies that examine how traits evolve across the lifespan and how individuals differ in these changes. Mean level change. Let me just arrange it like that so I can see the chat as well. Boom. Mean level change, how average personality scores change with age in the population. Individual differences in change, how people differ from average patterns and why those differences occur. Interesting. So personality traits. Traits are relatively enduring patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior, commonly summarized by the big five. Extraversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, emotional stability, low neuroticism, right? And openness to experience. Also was defined as intellect. Main findings. 1. Personality continues to change in adulthood. Contrary to older assumptions that personality is set like plaster after young adulthood, the review shows adults do continue to change to many traits across adulthood into old age. These changes are systematic and not just random fluctuations. Yeah, it's one of those things that I think it's like, I don't know, whenever I read papers like this, I'm like from the time that I was like obsessed. Oh, sorry, why is that? No, it's fine. From the time that I was obsessed about like the proclivity to change, right? I was reading incessantly all the papers for like 2 years straight. Not straight, but like sporadically. So it seems that change at all occurs not linearly, if that makes sense. It's kind of spiral, right? So you get into the point of wanting to change, and then you make measurements for it, and then you go back to your previous actions and beliefs, and then maybe something else motivates you to go again into the point of wanting to change, and then making like creating an environment for change as well, but maybe failing again, but you moved on because you learned from it, right? Every time you fail, you learn from it. Until maybe one day you reach the peak of it and you actually change. But maybe you don't, right? Maybe you never through your entire life, never find the motivation for the specific change, right? And I guess that like same goes for like the change of traits, right? It's not linear. It's incremental. It goes back to the previous, not exactly previous stage, because like now you have failed, something has changed, right? Like now that you like reverted to your previous stuff, something has changed there. It's not completely to the previous position. Yeah, but it's like sometimes just takes really, really long time to make a change, you know? So, contrary to all the assumptions, the personality sets like plaster after young adulthood. Adults do continue to change in many traits across adulthood of old age. These changes are systematic and not just random fluctuations. Okay. Mean level change patterns. So this just basically tells us, it's a phase, is wrong. I'm joking, I don't know what this means. Mean level change patterns. This refers to average trends seen in large groups of people. Confidence, warmth, self-control, and emotional stability tend to increase with age. These overall increases are especially strong in young adulthood, 20 to 40. However, change continues to even in middle and older age, albeit usually at slower rates. Fuck yeah, I know that's true. I definitely feel the slowdown of the ability to change. The overall trend suggests that people get more socially mature with age, more responsible, confident, and emotionally stable. Individuals differ in how they change. Not everyone changes in the same way. Authors emphasize that that there are big individual differences. Some people increase more than average on a trait, others might change less or even go in the opposite direction. These individual differences often relate to life experiences such as relationship, career, success, or stressful events. For example, people with stressful careers tend to increase more in emotional stability and conscientiousness. Men who remarry in middle age show decreased neuroticism. Okay. Why do traits change? Authors discuss several possible explanations. Life experience and transition, life roles such as committed work, partnership, and parenting likely shape personality by encouraging behaviors like responsibility and emotional control. Time and persistence. The review notes that longer time periods of measurement show larger personality changes. That's interesting. So this argues against the simple biological set point model, where traits snap back to a fixed baseline. Cool. Summary, personality traits is not a fix in adulthood. They continue to develop over time. Most adults tend to become more emotionally stable, responsible, and socially mature with age. There is great individual variation. Life experiences can boost or dampen these trends. And change occurs not only in young adulthood, but across the entire adult lifespan. Why this matters? This review helps shift scientific thinking about personality from viewing adult personality as stable and fixed to viewing it as dynamic and shaped by life experiences. It connects personality psychology with lifespan development and shows how traits interact with social roles and life events. And then it prompts me to continue talking to it. It's funny. I saw, it just reminds me, I'm no longer on Twitter for the most part. But like, I just like deleted the app of my phone even because fuck that place. But it just like reminds me some weirdo was asking on Twitter, was asking Grok to give it like whatever, something, right? And Grok then started like prompting it. And how do you feel about it, right? And then that fucking child or whatever, that fucking man-child, person-child, just continued talking to Grok for like the entire life. And I was like, do you realize you're talking to a bot? You don't have to tell it how you feel about stuff. Like, you're talking to a fucking AI. Holy shit, that was funny as fuck. Tone, are you still on Twitter? You went back on Twitter and followed me there? No, I'm not going there for a while. It's just full of like anti-vegan bots. That's it. I mean, maybe not bots, but like the paid shills. And it was like, it's just a waste of time. No real people are exposed to vegan posts on Twitter anymore because the algo is very direct. Unless somebody wipes out the algo the way I did, kind of lately, couldn't wipe it out completely, right? Because I follow certain people, I follow vegans there. But I got exposed to a bunch of other stuff. But then the algo keeps you back into the taper, right? And if you never go into settings and just delete all the preferences, you just stick to the echo chamber, and it's very strong. It just tapers back in a matter of couple of days. Twitter sends you bots, better speaking to brain-dead humans in Discord. Yeah, because then you meet gems there, right? You meet people who are genuinely give you hope, maybe sometimes. Not lately. Not gonna lie, not lately. I have a lot of engagements on threads. Good luck with that. I don't know if I want another social media at this point. I don't even know, I don't know. I have my Discord. That seems to be enough for me right now, because developing a social media is just not something that I'm good at. It's just a matter of fact. Now, whatever I post on YouTube, whenever I post shorts on YouTube, I post them on Instagram as well, but I don't get much exposure. I just don't know. If somebody can tell me how to develop a social media, I'll go on a social media somewhere, right? And I'll start developing it, but I don't know how to break it. Anyways, shall we ask ChatGPT how one can change their conscientiousness? Is the research on how one can consciously, I guess, change one's conscientiousness. Hope I spelled that correctly. Let's see. Yes, there is real psychological research on whether and how people can consciously increase their conscientiousness, and it suggests the answer is yes, but with some nuances. Personality traits weren't always thought to be changeable, but more recent studies show that they can be influenced intentionally through structured practice interventions and habit changes. By the way, guys, right, a fair warning always, something to remember. We are reading ChatGPT. It could be absolutely inventing shit, right? So take this with the biggest grain of salt. Although maybe we can, Science Direct, maybe we can press one of the buttons and see where it leads. We'll see. Personality change can be intentional. Studies and theoretical models now explicitly address volitional and intentional personality change, meaning efforts people make on purpose to change traits like conscientiousness. People commonly want to increase conscientiousness. My teeth hurt. Often one of the most frequent personality change goals in studies on adults and students. Let me just get a water that isn't this. My teeth don't hurt. They're sensitive. One sec. I don't know why my teeth became sensitive all of a sudden. I'm okay. I'm here. Thank you for panicking. I appreciate it. Anyways, guys, we'll check this out. If this gives us something interesting to read, we'll go there. If not, frankly, I'm done. Interventions targeting conscientiousness. Research had looked at specific interventions designed to strengthen conscientiousness, behavioral activation, and bottom-up change. Some interventions use a bottom-up approach. Instead of trying to change beliefs about oneself first, they focus on systematically changes conscientious behaviors, planning tasks, organizing, keeping routines. That's interesting. A repetition of these behaviors helps them become habits, and over time, habitual actions can translate into trait level change. I think I was talking to you about washing dishes for like way too long at some point, telling you that if you don't like washing dishes, you can change that, right? You can change that through behavior. You can change your mind. You can change your, what is the name of the vibe? There is belief, there is action, and then there is, what's the name of that? The third one that's like bridges the two. That Justin called vibes. What's the name of that? Let me Google it real quick. Let me see what's happening here. Belief, action, and we'll see what comes up. What is the name of the relationship between belief and action? Oh, fuck. Attitude. I didn't find it here. I just remembered. Okay. So the attitude, you can change the attitude by changing first the action, and then your attitude changes. Like, I think maybe either your attitude or your belief can change through like the action. So I guess your personality can change as well. If you change your actions, you can actually like evolve. You evolve your personality. Isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? Repetition of these behaviors helps them become habits, and over time, habitual actions can translate into trait level change. Sociogenomic trait intervention model. The sociogenomic trait intervention model, STEAM, is a theory about how to foster conscientiousness through targeted behavioral changes grounded in broader lifespan and social factors. It combines ideas about gene environment, interplay, motivation, and habit formation to guide interventions. Systematic review of consciousness interventions. What is that? Ugh. Give me a sec. A systematic review, conscientiousness has consistent and robust association with a large set of key student outcomes, thus to understand the extent to which conscientiousness could be leveraged to support students' learning, achievement, and well-being. It is important to ascertain their conscientiousness could be strengthened by means of interventions. To narrow this important knowledge gap, this research synthesizes the findings of recent studies on the efficacy of interventions designed to increase conscientiousness. To this end, we conducted a systematic review of several online databases to identify relevant articles published after the last major review of personality changes interventions. The research yielded 11 articles that are conclusion criteria. These studies used one of three types of interventions: digital coaching, in-person coaching, and behavior activation. 9 of these interventions we reviewed significantly increased conscientiousness in either the trait, facet, or state level. Our review identifies several gaps of conscientiousness intervention literature, such as the lack of knowledge about the mediating and moderating factors of intervention effects and the relative periodicity, I don't know what that is, of studies assessing the maintenance of intervention effect. The article discusses the significance of these findings and building up upon them, delineates important directions for future research and intervention. I'm gonna save this one. I wanna read this one. I don't know if we should be reading it now though. I think I want to send this to somebody as well. Somebody specific. Okay. So that's 25 systematic review found that majority of interventions aimed at strengthening conscientiousness were effective, increasing conscientiousness at the trait or behavior level in participants. These interventions often focused on encouraging repeated conscientious behaviors until they became automatic as part of self-concept. Interesting. Right. How these interventions work in practice. There are common mechanisms that research suggests help in consciously changing conscientiousness. Oh, by the way, shit, why am I not giving you the link if you want to read it? Please go read it if you want the link. There you go. There it is. Just passing hello, Felek. And wanted to let you know about hydration check. There you go. It's because I'm red. I'm red because it's like I had the heater on me. No worries. Plant Giza is perfect. He's my hero. And nobody else can convince me otherwise. Habit building. Conscientiousness may partly build like a habit. You practice conscientious actions until they feel automatic. For example, making daily to-do lists, setting regular schedules, planning tasks the night before, or keeping your environment organized can reinforce trait relevant behavior. Behavioral repetition. Research shows that even when participants were assigned to increase conscientiousness, not just choosing themselves, doing planned tasks regularly led to trait increases over time. Motivation and self-belief. Being motivated and believing that change is possible enhances success. Though some studies suggest conscientiousness can change even without intrinsic motivation, provided people consistently perform conscientious behaviors. Self-concept integration. A key step in incorporating conscientious behaviors into your self-identity. Thinking of yourself as someone who plans ahead or someone reliable, which helps sustain change. This is actually interesting, and it gives me like a little bit of an insight into the thing. I went vegan overnight, basically, right? But it wasn't like something that I didn't know that I should be, right? I knew I should it like felt right to be vegan for like 2 years prior, but my like fear of becoming weak and sick, my fear of never eating meat again, specifically like the disgusting meats, the hamburgers and the sausages and shit, the hot dogs. And the third fear that I had is the fear of disapproval from the environment, from people around me. Those are the things that kept me from going vegan. But at some point, maybe a month or two before going vegan, I was in a situation that I can't really explain, right? But somebody was giving me food and I didn't want that food for like other ideological reasons, right? But I didn't want to get into a conflict with them. And so I refused the food while saying I'm vegan, right? And it felt interesting. It gave me something. It gave me like a first experience with saying that I'm vegan in a room, like to a person, to a new person, and maybe like a few people that heard me around me. And that person, despite me not wanting an interaction with them for ideological reasons, basically, they were very nice, right? They were said, oh, I didn't know that vegans don't do this and this and this. It was interesting. It kind of gave me something. It gave me like reduced fear. But subsequently, like I went vegan for like in like a fit of understanding that I'm a hypocrite, something like that, right? Or not necessarily, like I told the story many times. Anyways, there is something to this, like viewing yourself as someone, even though you are not that someone, can facilitate change, maybe. That's what they're saying, I think. That's what it reminded me of. What it means for you. So, according to psychological research, yes, conscientiousness can be increased intentionally using structured interventions. The process usually involves behavior practices, habit formation, and self-reflection rather than just willpower alone. Change tends to be gradual, often requiring repeated action over weeks or months, and stronger when actions become a part of identity and routine. Practical tips backed by research. Set specific small goals. Choose concrete behaviors. Planning tasks each evening, setting reminders, and do them consistently. So this could be interesting. Like, I'm gonna try this out. Somebody who's like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to go vegan, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I tell them like to plan out the day of what they're gonna eat like a day before or something like that. Maybe that could help. And if they do it like long enough for a while, maybe that will help them. Use habit formation techniques, pair new behaviors with existing routines. That's cool. After breakfast, plan your day. I should do this for my like actual life, not gonna lie. I have pretty bad habits when it comes, especially when it comes to like waking up and shit. Maybe I should like implement this in my life. Track behavior over time. Use a habit tracker or journal to reinforce persistence and visibility of progress. Reflect on identity change. Actively think about how these behaviors align with the person you want to be. This identity connection strengthens long-term change. That's cool. That's cute. Okay, fellas. I think I had enough. I think I had enough. Give me a sec. Where can I go? Oh shit. There you go. I think I had enough. I don't know, my teeth are sensitive. I feel like I've rambled long enough. Give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts about this subject, if any of you listened and didn't just talk among yourselves. Which is fair. I'm just here to provide like a background noise, maybe sometimes to some people. I should recognize that. You've been swapping your recipes, I see. All right. Okay, let's just finish. Conscientiousness, something that we as vegans should consider to increase in other people. Didn't go deep enough. Well, would you listen? I gave you the link. Go deep yourself. Tone. With all due respect. We should look for ways to increase conscientiousness. Some of those things sound like we're already doing. Like, Challenge 22 is kind of reminiscent of that stuff, in my opinion. Yeah, thank you for coming. See you next time.